Okay, guys. Now, before I get on with the video, I just want to let everybody know that I'm going to be doing a Q&A soon. So ask me any type of questions that you have for me, whether they be about video games, wrestling, music, religion, you know, life in general, politics, anything, food. Ask me, like, I don't want to give you guys telling. Oh, ask me what my favorite food is, but yeah, I mean, pretty much ask me any questions that you have. All right, leave them either on my channel in the discussion section of my channel, or just leave them in the comment section of this video. Not any other video, just this video. All right. You can also leave comments of what you think about this whole, retro debate about, this war that's been happening since pretty much 1996. It basically ended in 2001, 2002, but there's a lot of people who have different opinions on the subject. But to me, I just have to get this off my chest because it's just, I've seen some videos on YouTube about this subject, and it has been just pissing me off a lot. And it just, for years it's been, kind of in the back of my head of how people can actually think that the fucking PS1 is better than the N64. That shit just baffles my mind. I don't even give a shit. I don't care if I sound like a fanboy or a fucking just some psycho. I don't give a shit. This shit is just, it annoys the hell out of me. Okay, and I'm not a fanboy of either. I'm not a Sony fanboy or a Nintendo fanboy. I actually prefer the PS2 over the GameCube. I prefer the PS3 over the Wii. I'm leaning more towards the PS4 over the Wii U. But right now, I don't like either console. I think the gaming industry is kind of going downhill. But, I mean, for fuck's sakes, this just pisses me off. The N64 was a way, way better console than the PS1. A way better console. Why? Look at it. It's freaking... The N64 is just... It's literally 4 controller ports compared to 2 controller ports. Okay? No multi-tap needed. Fucking with cartridges, yeah. Cartridges suck. CDs are better. We have better quality sound. And CGI cutscenes. Go eat a fucking dick. Seriously, no one gives a shit. Okay, if the N64 wanted cutscenes, we'd have cutscenes, just like our version of Resident Evil 2. Okay, we could just compress games. If we wanted to, we could compress Final Fantasy 7 on our fucking console. So just shut the fuck up. Alright, Jesus Christ. And you want to know something else? Resident Evil 2 needed 2 discs on the PlayStation. You only needed 1 cart on the fucking N64. You could play as both Leon and Claire. And you had all the cutscenes intact. Alright? And don't give me all this, well, the cutscenes were grainy. Who gives a shit? Seriously, you guys are nitpicking faggots. These PS1 fanboys are just a bunch of nitpicking, cocksucking retards. Alright? I give you so many reasons why the N64 was better than the PS1. Had different colors. I personally have my N64 in blue. What other color can you get the PS1 in? Gray, and more gray. That's it. You can't get the PS1 in any other color. Alright? 4 controller ports, come on. Multiplayer was just way better on the N64. Not even a question. Not even a debate. It's not. It literally isn't a fucking debate. Alright? No load times. And the only time the N64 even had load times was if we had some fucking shitty PS1 port being ported to our system, because these fucking developers don't know how to fucking start from the ground up. Alright? Just kind of like how in the fucking previous generation, motherfuckers didn't know how to use the fucking cell processor. So they had the port shift from the Xbox 360, and the Xbox 3, and not even, giving the PS3 the benefit of the doubt. They always were whining about the cell processor instead of, just making a new game for the PS3. Seriously, lazy fucking development bullshit. And another thing, alright? With cartridges, sometimes you can actually save the game on the cartridge. So yeah, you don't even need a memory card. Go back to WWF No Mercy. Alright? I could save files on the fucking cartridge. I don't need a fucking memory card. I don't need a fucking hard drive. Right, the only time I needed a memory card was when I created like a whole shitload of wrestlers. When I did a lot of calls and stuff like that, and I wanted to put extra on the memory card. That's the only time I needed a fucking memory card. Seriously. The only thing I could say that's better on the PS1 is the controller. The controller is a lot easier to control compared to the N64. It has like the DualShock. The DualShock controller, I'll admit, is better than the N64 controller. Because it has built-in rumble, 2 analog sticks, and it's easier to control compared to the N64 controller. But other than that, the N64 destroys the PlayStation 1. It's not even close. I mean, the PS1's graphics do not look good in this day and age. Some N64 games actually still do look pretty damn good for their fucking time, and still to this day. Granted, it can't compete with like the newer systems or like PC and stuff like that, and the PS4 and the Xbox. But you just go back and look at Super Mario 64. Go back and look at fucking Conker's Bad Fur Day. Go back and look at a lot of really kick-ass games. That's another thing that aside from JRPGs, survival horror. And if you want to include fighting games, but even though I thought the Sega Saturn and the Dreamcast had better fighting games than the PS1, had better ports of 2D fighting games. But those were like the only 3 genres that PlayStation had the N64 beat. I mean, if you wanted better platformers, N64. You wanted better first-person shooters, N64. You wanted better wrestling games, N64. AKI, Aki made way better wrestling games than the fucking PS1 ever had. The closest thing to a good wrestling game on the PS1 is fucking WWF SmackDown 2 Know Your Role. That's the closest thing to a good wrestling game the PS1 has. Seriously, shut the fuck up. This isn't a debate. The N64 is superior. Alright? Like, honestly. Fucking... Seriously, the console's lighter than the PS1. It doesn't even have that many like malfunctions. The PS1, you had to turn that shit over sometimes because your disc would like act up and stuff like that. People were saying like on forums and stuff like that, they had to turn their PS1 upside down just to play a game. You didn't have to do that shit on the N64. N64 was a fucking durable monster. Are you kidding me? Oh, the third-party support wasn't as good as the PS1. So fucking what? It's like, again, quality over quantity, and I'll take quality any day of the week. Okay, I can list the games right now. Fuck it, dude, like Doom 64, No Mercy, WWF WrestleMania 2000, WCW NWO Revenge, Mario 64, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo-Kazooie, Zelda, Ocarina of Time. I could go on and on and on and on. The Turok games. There's no first-person shooter on the PS1 that can compete with GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, or the Turok games. None. Okay, and I'll admit, there was actually a really good first-person shooter called Disruptor on the PS1 I really enjoyed. But it doesn't compare. Doom 64. Like first-person shooter-wise, the N64 destroys the PlayStation. It destroys the PlayStation. I know there's a lot of people who are sick of first-person shooters now because the market is so flooded with them. But back in the day, the N64 had some of the greatest shooters ever. I mean, literally, I was addicted to Perfect Dark. All the customization you could like customize. You had the combat simulator in that game. You had the best weapons ever. The laptop gun. The Dragon, it had a way better version of the AK-47 than GoldenEye did. The fucking Cyclones, oh my god, those dual Cyclones. I used to go crazy in multiplayer with those fucking guns. Dude, the N64, like seriously, the N64 was just way more addictive. Like if you get a game for N64, you're gonna be addicted to it. I still to this day remember the first time I played Pokemon Stadium for the N64, and I was just amazed. I was amazed. I could finally see my fucking favorite Pokemon in 3D, and I'm not even into Pokemon anymore. But back in 2000. Back in 1999 and 2000, I was a huge Pokemon fanatic, and there were no good Pokemon games on the PS1. Obviously, because Nintendo owns it, but still, like seriously, the only thing the N64 was even lacking in was like good fighting games. Like it really, like if the N64 could have like a really kick-ass Dragon Ball Z game, like some more fighting games like Street Fighter and stuff like that. And maybe like a different option for like controllers and stuff like that. But I mean, you still had the arcade pad. So if you wanted to play fighting games, you just get like an arcade pad for the N64. And there was a lot of like third party controllers that were actually pretty badass and like really good if you wanted to play like some good like fighting games like Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct and stuff like that. But I mean, like, honestly, there was the PS1, no. Like, literally, so what if it sold more? Like, seriously, so what? Justin Bieber fucking sells a lot of fucking albums and iTunes shit and whatever. Doesn't mean he's a great artist. He's a great singer and shit. God, people are so dumb. Seriously, the N64... He just destroyed the PS1. Literally, as a kid, let me tell you something. I owned a PS1 before I owned an N64. I owned a PS1. I thought the PS1 was better than the N64 when I was a kid. At first, simply because it looked cooler. The console just looked like a cool, badass system. Like, when you first look at it and stuff like that, you're like, oh my god, a CD console that plays CDs and stuff like that. It's really cool. And I owned a PS1. And then guess what? I owned an N64. After that, my parents got me an N64. And I literally did not go back to the PlayStation. I didn't. Like, I didn't even go back to the PlayStation. I think I even sold my PS1 to get some more N64 games. No. Oh, I think I sold... because my parents had to be with me. Because we ended up going to, like, I think it was it Funkoland or EB Games or something like that? And I was young as hell back then. But I was like, because I was just like, I was going to give it to my cousin. And then, like, he ended up not wanting it because he had got, like, a Dreamcast. And, basically I was just like, I don't really play my PS1 anymore. And I kind of wanted a Dreamcast too. But I ended up getting the expansion pack for the N64 so I could play Perfect Dark. And, oh my god, that game is so addictive. Like, literally, Perfect Dark is like the perfect shooter. It's the perfect FPS game. Literally, that game is amazing. The maps, the arenas, whatever you want to call them, they were way better than Golden. The game itself it destroyed GoldenEye. Literally, man, I put so many hours into Perfect Dark, man. No Mercy, Conker's Bad Fur Day. There was nothing like these games on the PlayStation. Nothing. The PlayStation just did not compare to the N64. It didn't. It was just like, whatever. Like, the graphics weren't as good. The 64-bit graphics on the Nintendo 64 were way, way more impressive and way better to look at. Way better on the eyes than the PS1's shitty 32-bit fucking paper mache looking pixelated shitty graphics. Those things were ugly, man. I bet you if Pokemon Stadium was on the PS1, it would look like shit. It would look like fucking shit. It would not have smoothed out the edges. It would not have had anti-aliasing. It literally would have looked like shit. I guarantee you, man. Literally, I can't even. I remember like playing a few games on the PS1 too. Like I was looking for shit to play on the PS1. There's like so many shitty games. I remember like so many shitty games. Rugrats for the PS1. That fucking sucked. Ugly graphics too. Rascal. Oh my god. I still remember seeing the commercial to Rascal. And I thought it would actually be like a pretty cool game. And I remember picking it up and I played it. I was like, what the fuck is this game? That was literally one of the worst games I ever played in my life. Because I was literally looking for new games to play on the PlayStation. And my dad basically brought me Rascal. It looked cool. And I wanted to play it. And I was, holy shit, this game sucks. Even like... it's just, to me, it's no comparison. The N64 was just a way better machine. For so many reasons. I mean, I'm not even like naming all the games. Like literally, and plus the game for N64 was just more addictive. I mean, literally, if you played an N64 game, there's a good chance you're gonna get addicted to it, whether it's single player or multiplayer. Like literally, the games were just way more addictive than the PlayStation. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on this on that war that happened back in the mid to late 90s. I mean, literally, I remember when I finally got a Dreamcast 2, I was like playing the N64 and Dreamcast back to back. Did not have time for the PS1. Did not even give a shit on what new games came out for it. I literally stopped playing my PlayStation in 1999. I had no reason to go back to it. None. Absolutely none. I literally, if I could do it all over again, I'd pick the N64 over the PS1 all over again. All over again, man. Cause I still miss playing games like Doom 64, No Mercy, WCW NWO Revenge, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Perfect Dark. I mean, these Diddy Kong, even the kids games, whether it was the mature rated games like Turok or even kids games like Diddy Kong Racing, Mario Kart, Mario Kart, Banjo-Kazooie, man. All these games were fucking awesome. They were way better than anything on the PlayStation. And literally, I can't even think of that many addictive games on the PlayStation. I mean, granted, I've literally Mortal Kombat Trilogy was better on the PS1. Obviously great games like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Strider 2 was great. Siphon Filter was kick-ass. Twisted Metal was okay, but other than that, the PS4 was just, it was whatever. It was just you played it for a little bit, but it just was not as good as the N64. Not by any means. Literally, I mean, you motherfuckers can keep your JRPGs, man. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about JRPGs. Unless it's old school Pokemon, Red and Blue, and fucking Kingdom Hearts, I don't give a shit. I do not care. Honest, I don't care. So it's whatever. The N64 was just way better in my opinion. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Should have definitely won the console war. It should have won. I still to this day think the N64 should have won.